Hi, my name is Tom, and this will be the first video of a long series of videos of taking this camper and turning it into a camper that will sleep my daughter and my son and my wife. Some of the requirements some of the requirements for the camper were that we had to have enough beds for everybody to sleep in, and a little kitchenette area with a sink and a bathroom. So throughout this video, you'll see either me working on it, or all three of us working on it, or even my wife out here helping out. So part one is going to be ripping off the walls and everything. And what I'm trying to do is I want to capture as much aluminum that's in this trailer as possible. I'd like to, even though I didn't pay a lot of money for the trailer, I'd like to try to recoup some of the money out of it. So the sides are aluminum. There was a track that was on top that was aluminum, and some of the pieces on the inside might be aluminum also. Once I get all the sides taken off, then we're going to measure out the floor and then take the floor off as well. I eventually want to get it all the way down to the frame to where we just have the wheels, the frame, and bare metal. And then from there, we're going to sand down the metal and paint it and seal it all back up. In the next video, I'm going to probably show you some of the designs that I've come up with and what I'm attempting to do, and where I got some of my ideas from. So just, you'll have to bear with me on that part. Most of this is going to be a build as you go type of thing. So there may be some design issues that I'll find as we go along, and we'll have to adjust for that. But I'm hoping that the design that I come up with will cover 90% of the build, and the other 10% will be adjustments along the way. All right, so that's it for now. As you can see, a lot of this wood was rotted out down here on the floor, and that's why I don't really want any of it. But I do want to keep the floor just so that I can get somewhat measurements off of the floor and what I'm going to do with it. I do want to keep the fender well pieces because to get measurements from that as well. But that'll eventually go, and it won't be aluminum, so it'll probably be a wood with a sealant on the underside of it, like a rubber sealant. Or I may keep the aluminum too and just make a wood frame all around it just to kind of keep it sealed up. But the floor is rot. It was rot all the way back here. The guy who previously owned it, he used it to transport stuff for his flea market in it. It was basically using it just as a regular trailer. So we are going to turn this back into a camper like it used to be. I'm sorry I'm messing with the thing so much, but we're going to turn it back into a camper like it used to be. Not a pop-up camper, but somewhat of a canned ham type camper. And then once we have the camper like we want it, then we will do a lot of camping, and we'll show you how it works out at a campground and stuff like that. Okay, so we have the floor cleared off, but before we proceed any farther, I want to make sure that we talk about safety, because I'm sure in the video that you just saw in the fast forward section, I wasn't being very safe taking off the walls with my kids sitting on the platform of the trailer, of the camper. So it's important that you use your tools correctly. There are going to be times when you got to manhandle some stuff. And if you do, then the responsibility is back on you. The risk is on you. You want to use your tools in the proper way. You want to make sure that people are being safe too. You don't want your kids, like my kids, standing behind while you're ripping off a piece of sidewall and stuff like that. You want to make sure that they're in a spot that they're safe, so that if anything goes flying, that they won't get hit by it. And you also want to make sure you wear safety glasses when using any type of tool, even if it's a drill. You never know if you got a piece that will fly off while you're drilling and get into your eye. So I want to say that up front that safety should be of the utmost importance. I will try to remember that. I'm sure that people will leave comments saying, I can't believe you let your kids stand up there while you're ripping it off. I understand that. I'm apologizing now, and I will do my best to be safe in the future as far as doing this. That said, we've got everything cleared off as far as the walls. Like I said before, I wanted to leave this piece here and that piece there just for measurement purposes. Tearing off this wall, kind of kink this one out. Can it be straightened up? Yeah, it can, but I'm not going to worry about it. I think what I am going to do is just take measurements of these fender wells, and then really I only need one measurement from one of them, and then make ones out of wood, and then seal it all up with some kind of like Flex Seal or something like that. I think overall, once this is said and done, though, I think this will look good. I think it'll be just what we need for our first starter camper, and it'll be a good experience just to get my kids to know how to use tools, how to use a hammer, how to use a saw, and just overall design and everything like that. All right, so if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'll try to answer. I do want to say that if you're going to leave a comment that's just really derogatory or ignorant, I'm not going to answer that. I'll probably delete it. I think if you can't just leave, constructive criticism, which is really what I'm looking for since this is a new build for me, then I really don't want to, I don't really don't want to hear it. If you have questions on what you think I'm going to do as far as the wood and stuff like that, I can leave that. Just let me know. I'll leave that in the comments. But other than that, I hope you enjoy this video series, and we'll just see what happens.